O king, my king, so many speak without authority. They shall say, this is bad and that is good, but they know neither this nor that as it relates to the affairs of the kingdom of heaven. They cannot paint a vivid picture of it. When man touches God, however, art is born, not because of the impression of his raw scalar talent, though he may possess much, but because of how a great mystery can percolate a man's thoughts. 1. I tell you, there are many joys in this world. In our time, people enjoy all kinds of activities, whether they be the Esows who enjoy the outdoors, recreational vehicles, playing music around the fire, tasting spirits and brews, or they're the Jacobs who enjoy the indoors, reading fun books, media entertainment, or gaming. This is good. 2. The Lord, when he created all of creation, as is said in Genesis 1, was pleased with his creation. Why should man not also please himself when he manifests that which his Creator has manifested, that is, the ability to create and be pleased? 3. Some men have all sorts of preferences for their leisure, and this is good too, for this is how they are salt. And as our Lord said, salt is good. 4. As we grow, we may find different things to our liking and our entertainment. And as we differ in temperament, this also varies the sorts of activities we frequent. A melancholic man enjoys a sip of fine wine, while a sanguine man enjoys a party. The phlegmatic man enjoys a fine meal, and the choleric man enjoys victory. 5. And we spread these enjoyments to one another, and give ourselves a reason to get up in the morning and work. We give ourselves a taste of the kingdom on earth, previewing what is beyond. 6. Our intelligence determines the spheres that engage us, and some men are engaged by more erudite culture and others by more childlike culture. 7. Universality applies. Men tend to enjoy activities with their hands, while women tend to enjoy activity with their friends. Men make friends on the basis of common activity, while women make friends on the basis of common relations or culture. 8. The pursuit of enjoyment is a noble endeavor, and we seek truth, and second to that, beauty, and third to that, order. We sometimes crave to taste something sweet or salty or sour or bitter or something that is fulfilling. 9. Enjoying activity is an outlet, an expression, a manifestation, a way to cast out emotions like nebulae into the abyss and keep those things that are precious to us. 10. We engage in cultures that fire us up, whether it be our minds or our entire body. We must activate our adrenaline sometimes to find balance and to feel alive. And sometimes that adrenaline rush is simply having a good argument. 11. Alas, you, my king, must know that the great rulers of the past have used entertainment to keep their people in a more carefree state. For in restlessness they may seek good or evil things. Common cultures increase relations in societies and among nations. 12. Look then to enable yourself and your people, not only by allowing them to feed each other, but to entertain each other. Birds have wings to find food faster, yes, but wings also give them a sense of liberation. 13. But as usual, like the parable of the wheat and the cockle, the devil and his own may corrupt a good thing and make it seem like an awful thing. The 7 capital vices seep into our pleasures, and then we engage in them at the expense of our souls and the souls of others. 14. Men become beaten and controlled by vice because they can often lack a sense of regulation. We are born with original sin, and if its effects bleed into our affairs, drudgery then turns into a conduit of evil. 15. We become what we expose ourselves to, and if we become exposed to vice and demonic insanity, it overtakes us. Our resistance will prove little if we expose ourselves too little to those things which allow light to penetrate us. We must choose to expose ourselves to good things and not evil things, even if those choices are boring at first. 16. The more a man's life is worth, the more worthy his sacrifice, like a fatted calf. When you give a man occasion to love with great love, his sorrows, his sacrifices, and his suffering are bolstered, empowered by his purpose, his sense of purpose. 17. We are ultimately responsible for everything we decide to do. Self-denial is empowered by having a self to deny, and is a show of strength and courage to take on our greatest nemesis, which is our own heart, drawn to the 7 capital vices. 18. And so Christ warned us that if we have occasion to sin, we cut off the area of concern. And so to some, a form of leisure can lead them down paths of vice, even if it leads them to some good. And therefore they must tear themselves away from that fount of joy and take the long time it takes to heal from such a thing. 19. And though sometimes it takes one to cross a desert to leave a swamp, we must always dwell on the hopes of finding lush vegetation. If we have to say goodbye to leisure activities that lead us to vice, we may suffer drudgery to begin with, but then we shall find new things to keep us occupied and on nobler paths. 20. Not every country is the same. All nations are given to different resources for leisure. When you enact and legislate law, Your Majesty, you must make vice harder to access and virtue easier to access until you help extinguish vice entirely. Wean your people from bad behaviors and climb this ladder one rung at a time. 21. If we are being corrupted by the customs of a neighboring nation, you must build high walls and encroach on them while defending your own people. And I mean that in all spheres. Demons look for shade. The torch you wield must be held high. Man's ascension only works when God has established his kingdom at all the 4 corners of the earth. Such is the fire Christ said he would kindle. 22. If your people comes up with a superior culture inspired by great beauty, they will transmit this light and allow foreign places to transcend their own darkness. 23. And as usual, the most beautiful thing ever created is Our Lady, who is wisdom. She will melt all of the frozen hearts the closer we get to her, and this will be the greatest joy of all.